Hello, this is Mike, and I'm broadcasting, podcasting, recording, whatever you want to call it, here in the new Mike Dell's World studio here in Traverse City. And just wanted to do a quick little announcement here. I'm going to have a full episode here pretty soon. Yes, been a while. Yeah, it is what it is. Been building a new studio, so haven't had time to actually sit down and record, but I'm going to have an extensive blog post / podcast episode plus some video for episode 350, which this is not an official episode. This is an announcement. One announcement that I want to talk about real quick is that I have chosen to remove this podcast from Spotify for lots of reasons, which I'll go into in detail at some point in the future. But Spotify just seems to be taking over certain things or attempting to take over certain things. And plus, I don't like the experience of Spotify. I also don't like the fact that they decide if they don't like the title of your show, they'll take that episode off. And, just a lot of things. So if you guys aren't listening on Spotify, then you're going to get the real deal and you're going to get all my episodes. And if you are listening on Spotify, you're not going to hear certain episodes because they don't like the title or they've decided that something else about it is wrong. And just not going to have that anymore. So until further notice, I'm not going to be on Spotify after this episode. So if you're on Spotify listening to this episode, come to MikeDell.com and click any of the appropriate buttons. Best ones are Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts, depending on if you're on an Android phone or an iPhone. But there's a few other choices there as well if you don't want to subscribe on the traditional apps. There's TuneIn, there's all the different ones. Just hit the subscribe to podcast link there and it'll have them all listed out. But Spotify is not going to be among them. I'm going to leave this episode up for about a week. So next Sunday, it's going to be removed from Spotify. And until further notice, it's probably going to stay off of Spotify. Like I said, a lot of reasons for that, which I will go into probably in great detail over at podcasthelpdesk.com. More likely, because that's more podcast related. So be sure to check that out. But I'll announce it on an episode here. But episode 350 coming soon. We'll explain the new studio, and the post will have some photos, and I'm probably even going to do a video tour. It's not a big deal, believe me. It's a backyard tiny office, I guess would be the right way to put it. But I thought it was interesting, and it took up the better part of about a month and a half or 2 months of free time. But it was well worth the effort. This is so much nicer. I don't have to worry about other noises in the house. I don't have to worry about a lot of things that I did when I was in the basement. Plus, I'm in the light. I'm not down in the dungeon. I can tell day from night now. I actually have windows that I can actually look out of. Anyway, catch you probably in about a week. Not on Spotify. And we're going to talk about the new office. And also, like I said, on podcasthelpdesk.com, I'll probably explain why I'm not on Spotify. But this is your notice that I'm not going to be on Spotify after September 7th of 2020. Catch me later.